This shiur is dedicated to the memory of Rachaleah Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. This week's parsha is Parshat Emor, and I wanted to talk today about one verse in Emor. Let's turn to chapter 23, verse 22. Ubekutzrechem et kitzir artechem lo techale pa'asatcha bekutzrecha veleket kitzrecha lo telakei la'ani v'lager tazobotam ani Hashem Elokechem. And when you harvest the harvest of your land, do not destroy, do not fully harvest the corner of the field when you harvest, and that which falls, that which remains of your harvest, do not gather. Rather, you should leave it for the poor and for the convert who is among you. I am Hashem your God. There's a few questions about this verse. First of all, what is this verse talking about? And we will get to that. Number two, this is not the first time we are given the command of Peah and of Leket. So our question is, why is this command repeated? Where else was it commanded? Well, just in last week's parsha, Parshat Kedoshim. So why is the same command given 2 parshiot in a row? The third question which we are going to ask is, although it's repeated, why is there a slight difference between the two? So we're going to compare and contrast the 2 verses and try to determine why there's a difference. Continuing the theme of questioning of repetition and context, I would like to discuss why these commands are put in the places that they are. Why do they follow the commands that were given before them? Why do they precede the commands that are given after them, both in Parshat Kedoshim and in Parshat Emor, both in this week's parsha and last week's parsha? And the last question I would like us to discuss today is the actual structure or the words that are used in the verse. If you look back at the verse that we just read, chapter 23, verse 22, you will see that it begins speaking to the plural. It says, Uvekutzrechem, and when you, plural, harvest, et kitzir artechem, the harvest of your land, again speaking to the plural, to many people, lo techale pa'asatcha bekutzrecha. Do not destroy, do not fully harvest the corner of your field when you harvest. And that part of the verse suddenly is speaking to the individual. It's written in singular. So the question is, why does it change from speaking to the plural, to many, to speaking to the individual and being written in singular? If we're speaking to the entire nation of Israel and we want to say the command in the plural, then the entire verse should be in plural. And if you're speaking to the individual landowner, then the entire verse should be written singular. Why does it switch from plural to singular? So let us begin by looking at the first place this command appears, and that is in last week's parsha, Parshat Kedoshim. So turn to chapter 19. We're going to begin from verse 5. And it will be when you offer a peace offering to Hashem, to God, you should offer it so that it should be accepted. And Rashi explains that you should offer it with the correct thoughts, in the correct manner. It should be eaten on the day that you offer it, and on the following day. Vanotar, and that which remains, ad yom hashlishi, until the 3rd day, ba'esh yisarev, should be burnt in fire. So here we are told about the shlamim offering, about the peace offering, and there's certain laws, as with every offering, about where it can be brought and when it can be eaten. And here we're told that in order to eat the shlamim offering, because the shlamim offering, the peace offering, is an offering that's partially burnt to God and partially eaten by the one who offers it up and his family, we are told that there's certain days when you're allowed to eat the offering. On the day you bring it, on the day after, but by the 3rd day, if any meat remains, it must be burnt. One is not allowed to eat it. And if it is eaten on the 3rd day, pigulhu, it is disqualified. Lo yaratzeh, it will not be accepted. What we are told here is that if someone does eat the offering on the 3rd day, when it is forbidden, the offering becomes pigul. It's disqualified. It's as if the person who brought it did not bring the offering. But not only that, continuing in verse 8, and and the one who eats it will carry his own sin. Kit Kodesh Hashem Chilal, because he desecrated the holy of God. And this person's soul will be cut off from its nation. What is the punishment for eating an offering at the wrong time? Karet. Spiritual excision. The soul is cut off from the nation. They do not get and receive the reward of the world to come. Or alternatively, some explain, their children will die. This is a severe sin. If one brings an offering to God, one must eat it at the right time. And not only that, but the rabbis explain that if when one offers the offering, initially when they're going to be burning